WWE 2K26 for the Nintendo Switch 2 has finally gotten the update that we've been waiting for. And yes, this did fix a lot of the issues that we've been having with this version of the game. What update are we on now? Well, we're now on update 1.07. Yes, that's the same update that the other consoles are on, and the 2K team also made some great changes to the Ringside Pass. We're gonna go into all of that, but first, if you're somebody who likes fighting games, and if you're somebody who likes playing fighting games on the Nintendo Switch, then I think you and I are gonna get along. So do yourself a favor and hit the like button real quick so you can watch more of my videos. And getting to the news regarding 2K26 on the Switch 2, here's a very brief recap of what's been happening. The game launched on Switch 2 day and date with the other consoles, but it had issues such as cutscenes not playing in the island, 8-man matches running very slowly, Inferno matches also running very slowly, thumbtacks not sticking to the body, plus a myriad of other issues, and who could forget handheld mode running even worse. After launch, we received 2 patches that fixed some of those issues, so 8-man matches running slowly, that was mostly fixed 2 patches ago. Inferno matches, not so much. Were they fixed in today's patch? Well, I'm going to show you a frame rate analysis later in this video so you can see for yourself. But there's also the thing that everybody talked about, which was image uploading. That was added the day before the game officially released. So during early access, we did not have image uploading, but we do now. And what about cross-platform community creations? Yes, we have those. We have cross-platform community creations, but with some caveats. Whereas other consoles have up to around 9,000 pages of created wrestlers to go through, right now, we on the Nintendo Switch 2 only have about 260 pages, and that's with cross-platform turned on. If we turn it off, then we have about 100 pages less. So that's how we know that it is working. The reason that we have so few is that Nintendo requires additional moderation before creations go live on the Switch 2. So with all that out of the way, let's get to what you guys clicked on the video for, and that is the update specifics for the Nintendo Switch 2 version of WWE 2K26, and boy do I have some good news. What do you see here? Why, yes, those are thumbtacks, and they are sticking to the wrestler's body. And no, this is not a replay. And yes, this is the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Just kidding, this is the PS5. No, I'm just kidding again. This is actually the Nintendo Switch 2. However, there is another even weirder bug with the thumbtacks now, and that is that while they do show up on your wrestler during the match, they don't show up in the replays. As you know, before it was actually the opposite. They didn't show up in the match while you were playing it, but they did in the replays. Now it's reversed. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I do prefer this new bug where the thumbtacks don't show up in the replays over the other one, that's for sure. Now let's take a look at the Inferno match. A few updates ago, this match ran at around 50 frames per second in a game that targets 60. So that's not good. But let's see how it runs now in today's 1.07 update. For this match, I used the exact same characters as I did in my last frame rate comparison video, the same arena as well, and when we compare it, you can see immediately it's a lot closer to 60 frames per second, and it's a lot more consistent. There are still some FPS drops, and you can definitely tell that they changed something about the flames, especially when they're in the Inferno mode. For one, there's a lot less flames than there were before. It looks like they removed the layer of flames that gave it that look and feel like it was burning really hot. Now as a result, the flames in the Switch 2 edition kind of look like a GIF image on repeat. But you know what? I will take it. They got it to run a lot better, and that's what counts here. Now let's check out 8-man tornado tag team matches. These were the matches with the biggest problem on the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, and with the last few updates, they were worked on, and they played a lot better than they did when the game released, but they still didn't meet the quality that Shiver Entertainment met in 2K25. That is pretty much a perfect, unmoving 60 frames per second, but with today's 1.07 update, 8-man matches are even more stable than before, having only slight momentary drops. This is how this game should have launched, but you know what, at least we're here now. Here's a cutscene in the island. It would seem that they've been fixed. It was the case before that whenever you would run into a cutscene in the island, the screen would just go black and the only thing that you would see is your dialogue options. Handheld mode probably ran the worst, and so I decided today to take a look at some of the more taxing matches in this game in handheld mode to see how they run. But before that, there is some bad news with regards to handheld mode, and that is that Blake Monroe's mirror is still blacked out during her entrance. Again, it works fine in docked mode, but whenever you try to run it in a handheld, the mirror is not going to show any reflection. So this is an 8-man match that I played in handheld mode, and the last time that I did this, I could feel the game slowing down every once in a while, but to be totally honest, this time it felt like I was playing it in docked mode. It felt the same to me. I wish there was a way to analyze the frame rate from handheld mode, but in judging it just from how it felt to me, I would say that it's pretty stable now. Maybe slightly less stable than docked mode, but that's just an assumption. Since handheld mode uses less power, it would be reasonable to assume that it probably would suffer slightly more frame drops than what we saw in the docked mode footage. But what really counts is not the numbers, but how it feels when you're playing, and to me it felt smooth. Likewise with the Inferno match, this is handheld footage of me playing the Inferno match, and again, I didn't notice any major drops. This is a huge change from how this match played before. It was downright horrible in handheld mode. Now I can barely tell any difference at all between handheld and docked. Update 1.07 is a huge W for WWE 2K26 on the Nintendo Switch 2, and not only the Switch 2. This update also came to the other consoles today, and it is a huge W for 2K26 in general. The Ringside Pass still exists, however, they have reworked it in such a way that a lot of the complaints are just not really valid anymore. At least not as valid as they were before. For example, if you were one of the early adopters, you're going to receive enough RXP to unlock 20 tiers for free in Season 2. This applies to you if you had the game during the early access period. So we're going to be getting 20 tiers for free next season. All current and future players are also going to receive enough RXP to unlock 20 tiers in Season 1. Not Season 2, this is just for Season 1. So let me say that again, that's just for Season 1, and going forward, starting with Season 2 and all seasons afterwards, the threshold for unlocking a new tier is going to be 625 RXP instead of 800. Here comes the biggie though, and this is the thing that really pissed a lot of people off. The DLC characters that come with the Ringside Pass, they're still locked behind the Ringside Pass, but all 4 of them are going to be unlocked after reaching just Tier 1. This is a major change and one that should quiet a lot of the complaints. So yeah, I would say that this is a W update all around the board. I think that I can consider this a game worth recommending now. The biggest holdover for me was the Ringside Pass. If it wasn't for that, I would have considered this game better than 2K25. At this point though, it could be the case that 2K26 has surpassed 2K25 as an overall game. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm Switchblade done.